Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk for week 2 in the NFL is here. It's ready. It is hot. What a week in the NFL. Omar joins me. We discuss it all. Surprises, defense, blowouts, a Sunday night head scratcher as well. Hot takes. It's all there. I want to remind you, don't forget, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, please do so. I got all my videos, all my content is up there. Stand-up comedy clips, YouTube shorts, not to mention the Sunday Night Talk, which you are going to listen to right now. It's all there. Give it a subscribe. Watch the stuff. You're going to like it. So it's week 2. Omar joins me. It was a glorious win for the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a curious loss for Omar's 49ers, not to mention it was a disaster for some teams. Disaster Sunday. Let's talk about it because it all starts right now on the Sunday Night Talk. Here we go. All right, everybody, it is time for the Sunday Night Talk. It is 8:50 West Coast time. The Houston Texans just finished defeating the Chicago Bears. Patrick Ramirez here, Omar Carmona there. It's time for the Sunday Night Talk. We are both 1-1 with our respective teams.
I don't think we were both expecting to be in this position today. Right? It seems like, it kind of seemed like after last week's performance for the Raiders, it was kind of like maybe like a foregone conclusion that Lamar Jackson was going to get his first win of the year after that heartbreaker to Kansas City the week before. And then it's like, wow, a week after San Francisco put Aaron Rodgers in his place, they can't do anything against Sam Darnold,
Yeah, I got, you're right on the Raiders. Like, they looked a little shaky, especially on offense against the Chargers last week. They go on the road to a Ravens team that looked really, really good. It was definitely a week of me talking myself into glass half full Raiders fan Pat. I was like, that defense might be top 3 in the league. We don't know. Offense, tweak it a little bit. This was good. This was bad. I was certainly glass half full, but not expecting the result to be quite like it was. And in San Francisco on the other side, all of a sudden Sam Darnold puts 2 really good weeks together. The Niners D couldn't really get an answer when they needed it. They go on the road. That's a bit of a head scratcher too. But I got as my main storylines for the week, this Dallas disaster is my headline. And then we just touched on it. 2 surprise losses. And I had those teams, Baltimore and San Francisco. Where do you want to start? I think it's Dallas is our headline for the week. Don't you think?
It's gotta be. But what's the headline, Pat? Is it Dallas is can't stop anyone, or is it New Orleans maybe the biggest shock of the early season?
Yeah, where do you land on this? Because I'm writing it down too. Like, New Orleans has scored 47 and 45 points 2 weeks in a row. They might be awesome. They go on the road. Or do we overrate Dallas? And maybe it could be both.
I think we underrated the Saints more than anything else. We were talking about Dallas. It just didn't seem like they did enough in the offseason to make any sort of significant strides, And so when you stand back like that, I have a hot take theory. I want to share it now. My hot take is Jerry Jones will lose every single regular season game from here on out in order for him to draft at some point Arch Manning from UT Austin.
Well, I haven't looked at Dallas's schedule, but they can't lose every single game this year because I think at some point they play Carolina. They can't lose that game, can they? They could win that game with 8 men on the field.
That's true.
So, yeah, New Orleans goes into Dallas, and that's the surprise of it. It was garbage time pretty quick in that game. Besides Arizona Rams, it was garbage time from about mid-third quarter. And then the one sliver where Dallas, I think, was down 17 and they had the ball, I think Dak threw an interception on second down, and it was done. It was over pretty quickly. That was a rough one for the Dallas faithful. And the only thing I can say is maybe week 2 doesn't count either. It's still pretty early. But how about this Saints team? Like, this is the feel good story of the
It's
first 2 weeks, don't you think?
it's gotta be, and now it seems like when you catch like when the NFL catches lightning in a bottle, it always ends up like somehow having to do with the Saints, because remember the hurricane year that you
Oh,
know
yeah, yeah,
the,
that's right. That was a good Saints year.
the Superdome was just electric, the Drew Brees years, um,
Right.
you
We,
know.
we've got a rejuvenated Derek Carr story that we can talk about. Like, it's all fun for the New Orleans Saints right now. And I think they're good, though. I really think Kamara is playing really, really well. Derek Carr has a confidence I don't think I've ever seen.
Well,
And they
with him and
beat.
Kamara on the same page, that's scary.
Mhm.
That it's not, the thing with Derek Carr wasn't for a lack of talent. He hasn't had
Yeah.
postseason success.
It's yeah, he's always been talented. It's always been just tough schedules, tough divisions, needing weapons.
Injuries,
It was
injuries.
injured. It's just
Or
it takes so
or
much
or in
to get
times
it.
when he was in when he was in, formerly Oakland, and now Vegas. It's just like sometimes ownership. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like, dude, like what how you got to put some stars next to me.
Multiple head coaches as well throw
It's
in
like
there.
it's like you never got me a guy like Devontae Adams. You bring Jimmy Garoppolo and you get him, Devontae. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some of that. It might just be the perfect match he's been waiting for. And like throw in Baker into this conversation as well. Just getting that right match is so hard, especially for these quarterbacks that are in the
Baker.
twilight of their career, where like just get all the pieces. And if you start 2-0, you got to be thinking like, okay, we got something. Let's write it out. I'm looking at the Saints schedule. They have the Eagles next week. They have the Falcons after that, and we have the Chiefs after that. And then if we keep going, Bucks after that. Like next week, like that's going to be top of my list. I have to watch the Saints next week. That is going to be
Yeah.
really, really interesting depending on how Philly plays tomorrow. What do we have in these Saints this year? Good story. And I'm a little bit of the belief that I think Dallas went down and out early and then knew this game was a lost cause. They
Did you
didn't
think
have
at
a lot
any
of fight.
point? Did you think at any point a few years ago we'd be talking about the 2-0 Saints and then Sean Payton coaching an 0-2 Denver Broncos on the same weekend? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we could rename this weekend Disaster Weekend
Oh, there
because
was there were.
because I mean it's there's some disasters this week, and like if we talk Dallas was a disaster, L.A. Rams was a disaster. Let's go to
Disaster.
Thursday. The Miami Dolphins may be without their quarterback for the rest of the year. That's a disaster.
Broncos,
Denver
Panthers,
Panthers we knew was a disaster last week.
The Jaguars drop. I mean, losing to the Browns at home
Hmm.
after
Yeah.
after the stink fest the Browns put up with Dallas last week.
Yeah, yeah. Jacksonville, I would put the best of those disasters, though. Like, at least that game was competitive. At least you have something to go in Monday and say, like, okay, we did this good. We need to improve on this.
Right.
The other ones are messes, though, Omar. Jacksonville, you could talk me into them being in the playoffs right now, some way, somehow. The other teams, I don't know. I mean, Dallas, I'm not by any means ruling out in a 17 game
Can we
season,
can we
but
talk
today was rough.
where the I think it's a disaster what happened to the Bengals. A
Bengal.
disaster, a disaster in the sense, God, it always seems like they have the Chiefs on the hook and they
Mhm.
can't close the game.
That was an interesting game too. That was really fun and had that playoff game feel to it. And we'll talk about that one. That one's on my list today. So, before we do the games though, let me talk one segment idea I threw at you during the week here. Let's see if we're going to keep this because we're still playing a little no huddle offense here with the show. Okay, following week 1, I wrote down some names that I thought had the toughest week after their week 1s. So during the week, the most press, the most
Okay.
negativity thrown at
Oh,
them.
I got some ideas. Go on ahead.
So here's who I thought had the toughest week leading up to this Sunday. I had Deshaun Watson, looked like a complete mess and unmotivated in that Dallas blowout. I had Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, the fourth down call, the lack of offense. He was getting beat up all week long. And I had Tom Brady as a maybe, who had a rough week.
He took some heat.
I thought it was a little bit unnecessary heat. That being said, he still took a lot of heat.
He did.
Would you agree with those three, or would you add anybody?
Let me add some. Let me add some.
Okay, who had a tough week?
Tough week. Kyler Murray had a tough week after last week's performance. You know, and what were they talking about? You got to give Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. Well, the guy's 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The guy was just a monster today. You know, just that big home run hitter. But Kyler definitely he took a hit. You know, it's unfortunate. You know, the situation right now. Again, with the Bengals, they seem like a very frustrated team. They're 0-2. Ravens 0-2. And so they got some, and then Pittsburgh's sitting atop that division right now at 2-0. And they don't look particularly great. I mean, but they've played the Falcons and
who do they play today? The Broncos.
Yeah, and like we just said, the Broncos are a disaster. I will say I'm not shocked at. I'm glad. I think a person that won last week, and there was a lot of talk about this week, was the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh. You know, and he followed it up. You know, 2-0 to win on the road. Yes, I know it was against the Panthers, and you know it seemed like they got up to a quick 20-0 lead. But hey, he's 2-0. You know, and he's right there with the Chiefs.
I had a note in my Chargers-Panthers game that I think every team should get to play the Panthers in week 2. Because if you lose week 1, you're like, all right, let's get it back on track. We play the Panthers. If you win in week 1, you're like, all right, let's get a good start. 2-0. The Panthers, oh my God, they look like not only could they be beat by a top 25 college team, I think they could be beat by a Division II college team. They are a train wreck. Oh my God, it was bad. It was over early, and I don't know where the Panthers are going. I don't know what the plan is. I'm at the state where I feel bad for them now because I'm like, you guys got 5 months to go, and it's going to be ugly. It is ugly. They might not win a game. There's nothing that's redeemable about the Panthers right now. Am I crazy? Do you see anything that's good about them in 2 weeks?
I don't see anything redeeming about them. They're already headed for the number 1 pick in next year's draft.
Okay, quick trivia for you when it comes to the Panthers game today. Which one got over 100 yards? The Panthers running or the Panthers passing today?
What was? Oh no, they ran more because I think they only passed for like 80-something yards.
The answer was a trick question because the answer is neither, Omar. They were 84 yards on the ground. And I think there were 92 on the ground, 84 yards passing. Bryce Young went 18 for 26. So that was a trick question. They didn't have over 100 yards on either side. That was a rough one, Panthers. Everybody should get to play the Panthers in week 2. Okay, 2 segments for you here, Omar. Who looked good this week? I had New Orleans as a whole. And I had the Las Vegas defense. When are we ready to have the Las Vegas conversation?
Well, let's give it a little bit, but I am seeing some toughness in them.
Hold me back, huh? You're my get back coach. Get me back.
I think Antonio Pierce took some heat this weekend.
I had him on my list. Who had a tough week?
Yeah, and you did, and he had a really tough week. But then they come out and they were just very gritty, performance against the Ravens, and
it's a good term for it.
They were down, and that's the thing. They were down on the road, and they still came back.
Down 10 in the fourth quarter, and CBS
Gardner Minshew throws 2 early interceptions, and it's just like, it's not looking good, and then you're looking at the Ravens thinking, at some point they're gonna blow up,
right?
At some point they're gonna run away from. They're gonna be sick and tired of keeping, sorry to say, these bums around,
Yeah, well, exactly what I thought. And their first possession of the third quarter was straight down the field for a touchdown, and I thought, oh yeah. But, I mean, we are discounting a top 5 defense from those Raiders. We saw Crosby go up against a star rookie last week, Joe Alt, only got 1 sack. He was double teamed. They throw everything at him this week. He still gets 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection. He's affecting every other play, no matter what. The Raiders defense was awesome 2 weeks in a row against what I think is still a really good team in Baltimore. Okay, we'll save Raider talk. Tom Brady took a beating this week. I thought undeservedly. You throw him into an announcer's booth, and we're pissed that he's not great at announcing. Where were
Right.
you on Tom Brady? How much did you listen to him? Because he had the Dallas game today.
Eventually IQ is going to take over. The comfort's going to come. I think it's so unfair to judge him right now. I'm more interested in the fact that I'm just seeing him change physically. It seems like he's not even he looks younger right now today than he did in his last game in the NFL. How does that work?
Right. His hair, somehow he has a proceeding hairline. I don't know how he's done it, but if there's anybody who can do it, it's Tom Brady. And
His
I
his
think,
his jawline seems more
yeah,
defined.
there's got to be some surgery happened, right?
Yeah, and then I think, I mean, we don't sound too good being two guys here talking about this, but he's got to have some like lip filler or something.
Hmm.
It's just looking different.
Yeah, like the human eye can tell when something is not natural. We haven't perfected plastic surgery and fillers and stuff like that yet because he looks like too chiseled. The jawline is too square. That being said, like I listened to some bits last week of Tom Brady, and there was a few times when his co-host like really set him up. And the negative of Tom Brady is when he turns into press conference Tom Brady, where he doesn't really want to talk. And I'm like, I don't know why you're an announcer and you don't want to talk, because there was a point where his co-host asked him, "What did you like more, man coverage or zone coverage?" Perfect question for Tom Brady to give some insight on. And he just kind of does like, well, both are kind of good. Like we
Yeah.
need more than this, Tom Brady. And this week was a really good test because it was such a blowout and you really need to keep things interesting and insightful. And I would just tell him, like, in his head, whenever you run out of things to say, just have this line in your head. Well, when I was playing, and then just go from there. Like, we're not going to go wrong if you can throw us a story about your playing days. That being said, like, I like Tom Brady in the booth. I like hearing his words. It's just going to take time. I thought he had a rough week unnecessarily.
I agree.
Not that he was good. I just thought he was judged a little quickly this week. So also got who looked bad this week. I got coach of the Ravens, John Harbaugh, and I got the entire LA Chargers Carolina game. That whole thing was bad.
I think we should just discard that now.
We already know that. John Harbaugh, coach of the Ravens, I thought coached a really weird game. That last series was odd play calling. He had two really, really bonehead reviews that both got or upheld because they weren't reversible. It was easy to see. So I got he looked bad this week as well. Anybody look bad for you this week?
Titans, Will Levis, look bad.
Will Levis looked bad, huh?
Yeah.
What didn't you like? I got some notes on him.
Not just the I don't know what that was when he was going to take a sack. He shuffled the ball, which turned out to be basically bowled it, like a bowling, like a pro bowler.
Yeah.
Just
And he
rolled
did
it.
that kind of last week too with the Bears. Let him back in the game.
And his coach on the Suns, like just, looking at him, what kind of coach talks to your star quarterback and just looks at you and says, "What the F are you doing?"
I have that in a later category. Yeah, there's some frustration with Will Levis. The only thing that's different about him is that you really can't kill him. He'll throw
Oh,
3 interceptions and he'll still throw a 30-yard bomb and complete it. Like that touchdown to Ridley. I've watched it 3 times. I still have no idea how Ridley caught that ball. I thought it was intercepted 3 different times. And he'll run the ball. Like, he will not quit, I think, is what's good about Will Levis. Now, they didn't get the conversion at the end of it against the Jets, but there is that about him. Like, you compare his body language
yeah.
to, say, Caleb Williams today, and it's a totally different player.
You were talking about disasters. We haven't even mentioned one of the bigger disasters, the New York Giants.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
They scored 3 touchdowns. Listen to this stat. They scored 3 touchdowns. The opposing team didn't score any touchdowns, and they still lost the game.
Yeah, did we have them in the disaster zone? Because we should. Who did they play? Oh, they played Washington, which actually
Yeah, so
ended up.
Washington scores, listen to this. Giants score 3 touchdowns, do not convert a single extra point or 2 point conversion try. And so they get 18 points off three sixes, right?
Mhm.
The Redskins kick 7 field goals and beat them. That is an insane statistic.
I had it in my notes. Maybe neither of these teams are going anywhere, but at least Jaden Daniels got a little bit of a redemption game because he
And they're
got
kind
buried
of
last week.
and some of these quarterbacks are looking around. Your Gardner Minshew's, your Daniels, Malik, what's his name? Willis from
Malik Willis.
Zaire. Is it Zaire Willis? Yeah,
Malik Willis for Green Bay
Malik Willis.
Packers.
Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Malik Willis. Not particularly great performances. Also Justin Fields. And they managed to win win a football game.
All right, let's cover the Indianapolis Green Bay game real quick because this was the game that perplexed me the most.
I didn't really watch, but I will tell you, it just seemed like Willis. I mean, I watched a little, but it just seems like Willis didn't have much, but he got it done.
I got his stats right here. He went 12 for 14, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. So here's my question, Indianapolis. Green Bay rushed for 261 yards in this game. If you got a backup quarterback coming in, how do you not just play for the run and say, I dare you to throw the ball, Malik Willis? How do you let 261 yards be run on you? Now, Malik Willis was way better than I thought he would be, like on the ground and stuff, but I don't understand this game plan in Indianapolis. I would have just put, how many players are on the field? 11? I would have put 11 in the box. Who cares? Put them all in there. I don't know what Indianapolis was going for defensively. And offensively, they weren't that great. They scored 10 points. And their best offensive series was that very last drive, or second to last drive, where Richardson was pretty damn good. He looks like Cam Newton. Richardson does. Like, he's got like this little swagger and he throws the ball like him. He converted a 4th and 11 as well. Like, Colts have something with him. I don't understand how they only scored 10 points in this game and how they got rushed on so badly. I think they'll look at this game like in week 6 and be like, how do we lose to the Packers?
Right.
Didn't get that game. I don't understand how you let Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers run on you so much. Anyway, let's continue. Other games that we can go quickly on. How about we covered Pittsburgh and Denver. Here's what the most entertaining thing about that game. Number one, Denver doesn't even score a point to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And secondly, I don't know if you caught this new look that Sean Payton has. He's wearing these old lady sunglasses on the sideline. It's like, when did Elizabeth Taylor start coaching us?
He's something else.
Who's choosing Sean Payton sunglasses, Omar?
I know. I'm not a big fan, but oh well.
It's funny because he's getting madder and madder during the game, but yet he has these little like these wire frames. They're dark. I was like, can we get this guy some better shades? Give him some Ray-Bans or something.
Yeah, I can't explain those. Like, I don't know what kind of.
I don't know what he's going for there.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of him.
This was my first look at Bo Nix, though, for Denver. And while Denver's trying to get back in this game, by the way, the final of this game was 13-6.
Right.
But at some point, Denver is in the red zone, and Bo Nix throws a horrible interception in the end zone. That was ugly. Justin Fields looks really good. I don't know if I'm dumb because the scoreboard doesn't show it, but Fields was good in this game. Like, he was converting and moving and moving the ball around. So Pittsburgh.
What do you think if Russell Wilson is healthy? Do you start Russell Wilson next week?
I don't think so. I think Fields looks good and they're 2-0. I think you stick with him. I think it's easy at this point. And Russell Wilson looks good on the sideline clapping. So I think you keep him there.
Okay.
Keep him there. Why would you start Russell Wilson with a 2-0 Pittsburgh?
No, that's what I'm saying though, but don't you think are we getting close to a quarterback controversy?
I thought you were going to play devil's advocate there. No, I don't think we have it. I think it's Fields all the way right now.
But they announced it was going to be Russell Wilson right before the season.
I thought he had like an injury, something, and then they held him out, or did they do the quick switcheroo?
No, they held him out. Like they held him out last
Hmm.
second.
Hmm. Well, I think they made the right call. Now they beat Atlanta and Denver, but 2-0 is 2-0. So I say you ride with them until otherwise. Pittsburgh's sneaky good. I don't
Okay.
think those were wins against bad teams per se, although yeah, Denver and Atlanta may be bad. But I think they looked okay in it. I'm going to reserve judgment, but I think they looked all right in that game. And then last note, did you see Condoleezza Rice is in the owner's box at Denver?
That's pretty cool.
I forgot about Condoleezza Rice. She was in our life like every single day 20 years ago, and now she's in the owner's box. We talked Arizona Rams. I don't know what to say about that other than when Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are get on the same page, they may win some big games, dude.
It's scary.
They
They're
could be
scary.
scary. Like
They're scary.
I would not be surprised if they took down a Kansas City or some team like that, like in week 14 or something like that. And then lastly, I don't even know who the Arizona head coach is, but they put a shot of him side by side with Sean McVay, the Rams head coach. I think he could be his son. They look exactly alike.
That's funny.
Somebody check that out. So that was some of the early games. Let's continue. We talked New Orleans. All right, you ready to discuss San Francisco,
I'm not gonna spend too
Minnesota?
much time on it. I was
What do you mean?
I was disappointed. Some costly turnovers. Brock Purdy did not have a good game. Okay,
Yeah, I'm looking at
but
his stats now. I think there's some garbage time or something in here because he has a lot of yards, but one touchdown, one pick. What did you have a problem with Purdy's game today with?
yeah, I thought a little just careless with the football. I thought the defense for Minnesota played well. And Sam Darnold. Wow. I mean, I'm so glad for him. Although I'm totally bummed about the Niners loss. Obviously, I'm a Niners fan. But wow, to see Sam Darnold have a, connect on that 97-yard, I hated it. It was against the Niners, but hey, that was it's special for a guy like that. It's like he went to New York and everybody's calling him a
Yeah.
bust
Yeah, the
but
Jets. Don't forget about the Jets years he was
his
in
time
there.
with the Jets, spent time with the Panthers, the Niners. Just
Oh
it was a
yeah.
little rough. It was a little rough for him, but I'm glad to see he's finding success. But hey, look, Brock Purdy, give him a mulligan. He's won some big games. He's won a lot of games, and he can he can get on a run where he wins 10 straight. Um, and so I'm not terribly worried about it. It hurts. We're gonna, if we lose McCaffrey for an extended amount of time, that is gonna hurt. But
Yeah.
look, it's only one team has ever made it undefeated the entire way. I think I don't. It may be a record given the parity of the NFL, just the physicality of the NFL. It may be a record we never see broken. You
Yeah.
know,
17 and
um,
0. Yeah.
yeah, and as close as the Patriots came, um oh, got an Eli Manning quarterback sack away,
Right.
from perfection. Um, but I'm going to give the Niners a pass on this one today, and I just hope they come out ready for next week.
So you're on the train of week 2 may not count either. Still early, it's
Still,
okay.
it's still very early, but
Long flight to Minnesota for the 49ers.
yeah, but this is where you start seeing where the NFL, the good coaches are earning their paychecks. It's these early season adjustments that they can do that can change the course of their team's season.
Only scoring 17 points is my only concern with this San Francisco game here. My thought is, isn't Minnesota always tough for the 49ers?
Yeah,
Like they always
yes. I
play
mean,
them tough.
they have a nice little win streak, but then in the playoffs we get them and it's no problem. But in the
Right. Yeah.
regular season they have our number.
Yeah. No, Minnesota can have 3 wins. And if they play San Francisco, for some reason, they're just always a hard out for the 49ers. It might be one of those. And it's week 2. How concerned are you with McCaffrey?
I'm a little concerned, but Jordan Foster has been great to have fill in. So I just want McCaffrey to get healthy.
Is there any expected week that he's coming
Well,
back? Because
he's
what wasn't
IR.
it
He's IR, so he's missing at least 2 more games.
really?
Yeah.
I thought he was slated to play week one, and the injury thing happened, and now IR. Is this concerning, or maybe a blessing in disguise because he won't get hurt till week 9 now?
That's it's gonna be he's gonna be out for a little while. So I just want him to get healthy.
But you're not concerned.
No.
Who do the Niners have next week on their stretch here? Let's see. Because I'm with you. Like, there's a lot of reasons to think glass half full for the Niners today. Week 2, long road trip, tough Minnesota team. But they didn't do a lot on offense, and the Vikings had their way with them in a lot of ways. And now we're down to coaching. Like, can they adjust? Okay, they have the Rams next week, which got killed. Then they have the Patriots. Then they have the Cardinals. So I wouldn't say that's an easy schedule, but that's favorable.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, they have to bounce back. No way
Yeah.
around it. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Tampa Bay 20, Detroit 16. Tampa Bay's 2-0.
And you know what? And you know, last season we were talking about how tough Detroit is, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
and then and it looks like, wow, then the Bucks come in and who looked like the tougher team?
Right. Yeah, we got a rejuvenated Baker. That's really fun. The
Yeah.
Bucks are good. Like, the stat blew me away last week that the Bucks have made the playoffs the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And they go into Detroit and they get a really good win. They're looking really good. Let's see who they have next week. Because who do you think of our 2 and O's? Who do you think goes the longest undefeated?
Well, New Orleans is going to play Philadelphia next week, and assuming that Philadelphia wins tomorrow, that's going to be two 2-0 teams. And they're looking promising. The winner of that game is going to be looking promising.
Philly and
New
who's Philly
Orleans.
play? New Orleans and Philly. You think it's between those of who goes the longest unbeaten? Those are good picks.
It could be, and then they play next week.
Are
So
you on Philly? Do you think they're good?
they could be.
They play Atlanta tomorrow, so they should win. All right, let's go Seattle, New England. Definitely on my list of games that I had not anywhere near a screen. I didn't have a lot of interest in this game, mainly because the early game I had to watch Vegas, and the late game, I had slated KC Cincinnati all the way. So this was the back burner game. This was like just keep the hot dogs warm on the burner off to the side game. And it went into OT, and I watched highlights of it, and I think it was still boring.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say New England is better than we might have thought. And maybe that's good.
Yeah. That you know, and
Is Seattle 2-0?
What? Yeah,
Is Seattle 2? They're 2-0. Okay.
I look at them more like a Steelers, though. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's I still don't. I still have to see a lot more with those two franchises before I'm convinced.
Yeah. Real quick on Cleveland, Jacksonville. We talked about Deshaun having a rough week. Did he do enough to put himself back in good player status this week for you?
No.
I think
No.
I think I agree. It's no, because he almost ruins that game.
Yeah.
Here's the 3rd and 6 play. They have the ball. They're trying to not punt it back to Jacksonville. It's 3rd and 6. They don't run it. They call a pass play. Deshaun almost gets sacked and kind of throws the ball away. He could have ruined their chances. It would have been better to get sacked. Instead, he kind of just puts the ball up, and luckily it falls incomplete. But that could have been a fumble. It could have been tipped. I don't think he got back for me yet. I need another week with Deshaun. So he's still question mark for me. I think this might have been the worst acquisition in franchise history.
Right.
For Deshaun. And of course, right on cue, September, we have another accusation come out about him. Like, whoever that was sitting on that accusation till the season started.
Well, and then now that the Browns apparently took action to put in their clause that they can take him out, and not owe him any money.
Oh, geez. So the Browns actually did a little bit of due diligence there.
Yeah, so it looks like his days in Cleveland may be numbered.
It's not started well for him, I will say. That didn't do enough for me at all. I mean, it was going okay until that 3rd and 6 play. And like, Deshaun, you almost ruined it for your team again. Just fall down or
Right.
audible to a run. Oh, I didn't get that one at all. Okay. Cincinnati, Kansas City. This is the one that felt like the playoff game to me. Kansas City wins 26-25 on the last second. Butker commencement speech, the kicker.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift is in the stands nowadays.
Right. We got Taylor hot off her Kamala endorsement.
Yep.
A lot of unnecessary stuff going around outside of this game, but hey, that's what made it fun to watch. I think we really need to figure out Cincinnati because they looked really good in this game. And I think they should have won. They really should have won this game, Omar. It took a 4th and 16 penalty for the Chiefs to get in this scoring position. And still Butker had to hit it from 50 plus. 2 turnovers in the first half helped Cincinnati out. It didn't seem like Kansas City was at their best
No.
in
But
this
they
game.
found a
You
way
agree?
to, but they found a way to win. That's all that matters, right?
Right. And that's just their theme. That's just what they do. There was a point where Joe Burrow got mad in this game. Did you see this where he did this like 3-yard run, this tough 3-yard run for a first down? And he gets up and he looks fucking pissed. Like
Yeah.
he's snarling. I was like, whoa, who's this Joe Burrow? This might be a change. And then Jamar Chase gets mad and gets a penalty. Gets a 15-yard penalty. Joe Burrow's trying to physically separate him, and not enough. And then he goes to the sideline, and Jamar Chase is still mad.
Yep.
It's almost like he needed the lineman to go pick up Jamar Chase and drag him away from the ref because that penalty cost him. But the Chiefs converted on 4th and 16 with that pass interference penalty, which was a good call. I don't think there was
Right. I don't mind it.
no disputing. Just the Chiefs find a way.
Don't mind it at all.
And they're 2-0, even though they weren't at their best here. So let's make a decision on Cincinnati right now. Are they going to the playoffs?
No.
Who's Cincinnati division?
Browns, Ravens, Steelers.
Browns, Ravens, Steelers. Okay. Who's the best in that division, do you think? Ravens?
Ravens, and now it looks like they got to do some work to catch the Steelers.
Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. I would put the Bengals above the Browns.
Yes.
I think I'd put them above the Steelers, just judging from what I've seen.
But they, that's going to be a game that we're going to have to see them just lace it up,
Yeah, well, that's why I'm predicting it right now. And Ravens seem to be the best of those 4. So if I take into talent, coaching, I think the Bengals can turn this around, though.
Okay, we'll see that.
Do you think they can, or do you think this is disaster zone?
It could be a disaster.
Well, of all the 0-2 teams, who do you like the most?
The Ravens.
Because the Ravens. Okay. Ravens is our best 0-2 team.
I think
Okay.
so.
No, I that's fair. That's fair. I was going to try and make an argument for Cincinnati, but yeah, I'm with you. The Ravens played KC week 1, almost took it to overtime, and then they lost it to Vegas. Okay, I agree. Okay, Omar, it's time. Las Vegas Raiders over the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Huge win for the Raiders. The D is legit, Omar. I'm not going to sit here and listen to any arguments that the D is not
They
top,
look great. No,
top
they look
3
they
in the
look great.
league. Ravens are good, and they go into Baltimore, and our biggest problem, just like last week, super slow start for the offense for the Raiders.
It was great. They
So
played,
slow that I thought we were going to make a quarterback change. Somewhere around that interception that Minshew threw with his eyes closed, I thought, like, we got to get O'Connell in here. Like, we got to get on the phone. Like, who's going to be our Tannehill? Who's going to be our Joe Flacco from last year? Because he looked lost out there. They were doing run the ball, 2 yards. Screen pass, 3 yards. Third down, 3 yards, punt it. If we got to a 3rd and 2, we get 1 yard. Like short yardage was not the Raiders' thing. They had all the same problems, and this week they actually adjusted to it. And I think it took that Max Crosby pep talk to Minshew to get him. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That was great leadership by Crosby.
It was like to the point where, like, if that was Carolina, if that was Cleveland, if that was, whatever other 0-2 team, like that would have been when the team crumbled.
Yeah.
But somehow they rallied, and Max Crosby was like, we're getting you the ball back. Don't worry. And it worked. Minshew had a really good game in that second half.
That was good. I was glad.
And Davante Adams made an appearance.
That was great. He's a great player.
He had over 100 yards receiving today, and he dropped one that might have been a walk-in touchdown, so it could have been even more. So, okay, back to Baltimore. The Raiders tie the game, and Baltimore has the ball. First down, Crosby sacks Lamar. Second down, run for 1 yard. Third down, incomplete. Fourth down, a 19-yard Baltimore punt with a holding call on top of it that gives the Raiders 5 more yards. And now let me go to the Raiders series here. First play, sideline pass to Davante. 2 plays later, first down to Brock Bowers, who we all booed when they drafted him. Brock Bowers is a beast out there.
I think he is going to be, who knows if a tight end can do it, but maybe early rookie of the year.
Today was a good case for it because 2 plays later, he catches another one for 5 yards. Then the Davante drop. Then Bowers again gets a first down. Then the pass interference on Davante puts them at the 1. And then they do a little sneaky 1 yard, fake the dive, throw the pass to Davante, touchdown. And then Baltimore has one more attempt at it after after a possession. Did you see the Baltimore's weird Hail Mary attempt?
Yep.
What was going on there? Back to John Harbaugh. What are these calls?
I thought they should just try to maybe do a better job blocking for Lamar. It seemed like he was outrunning his whole team. He outran his whole blockers.
He should have kept it.
Yeah, I think maybe the best bet would have been to keep it.
The announcer said someone on the other side of the field would have been set up for a couple blocks, but I mean, that would have been hard to make that lateral pass for Lamar, especially as a right-handed quarterback on the left side.
Oh, that would have been a hard one.
That would have been hard, but that was a weird play. That was almost like a give-up play for the offense there. It was, I think that was a big win for the Raiders, and it might turn things around for them. I mean, the defense is so good. There was a point where Baltimore has the ball, and they have this weird tip interception play where Spillane gets the interception. It was almost like, okay, the defense is like, offense, go get your breath. We're going to carry you for the next 2.5 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with me that Baltimore's offense is good, though?
They are. Again, I still think they're a good team. They're just, I think I'm going to put them with the Niners this week. Just, give them a mulligan. They're better than that.
Yeah. I think along with the bad punt, the John Harbaugh challenging 2 calls that were obviously not going to be overturned, so he loses a timeout, the weird play calling. I don't think he gave his team the best chance this week. And Lamar's body language was bad in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
As well. And Minshew turned it around. I really was ready to throw Minshew out the window.
I know you were, but he managed the game.
He managed it, but he still was throwing downfield. It's not like they're all underneath. Ironically, they gave up on the underneath stuff, which was good.
I'm with you on that.
They looked really good in that second half. They rallied. I'm really psyched for the home opener next week. Let me see. Who do they play next week? For the home opener of the 1-1 Las Vegas Raiders. They play the Pittsburgh. No. Sorry. I got it wrong. Oh, Omar, my dreams have come true. They play the Carolina Panthers next week in Vegas.
I saw that. Yeah, we have a possible win streak here for the Raiders.
We're talking hot streak, baby. Yes. So, I mean, I think the Raiders had a great week this week. That was awesome. I love the body language. I love the pep talk on the side of it as well. So that's my assessment. Non-Raider fan, what are your thoughts on the game today?
Non-Raider fan, good defensive performance. I like. I think Antonio Pierce has them playing very tough. So if they just keep that intensity up, they can get some wins and get something going here.
Okay, well, you're not as up as I am. I was hoping for some more
Oh,
celebrationary
come on,
talk on
man.
your side, but it's not going to happen. Okay, I'm going to chalk it up to your Minnesota loss. That's all right.
All right, all right, all right. Take it easy.
Do we need to talk about Sunday night? Chicago at Houston, a game I was actually looking forward to watching 4.5 hours ago.
It was good. It was not a bad game. Caleb Williams still young, making some young mistakes, but
What do you mean it wasn't a bad game? You texted me in the third quarter. Let's start. You
oh,
didn't even want to watch this game.
yeah. I mean, that's true too. But no. CJ Stroud, not his best performance, but they did well. The Texans got another win, so look out for the Texans. Again,
You like the Texans.
They're my AFC pick this year.
Yeah, that's true. You did pick the Texan. They won. I would say they won ugly today. I don't think they looked good, but I also have in my notes here, I think that Bears D might be good. They gave their offense 23 different chances tonight. They couldn't do anything. But the Bears D was still getting in CJ Stroud's face. There was an interception. There was a near interception as well. I think the Bears D is good. And I don't want to attribute it all to Matt Eberflus's new haircut, who looks like Jeff Daniels now, by the way.
True.
But the Bears look good on D, but that's about all they look good at. The offense is probably realistically a year away. Don't you think?
I agreed. It's a year away. Their rookie star, future star receiver in Rome Odunze, he was out, I think, right? Did he play?
I don't remember that name. I don't even know if this game was good.
But look, they got a ways to go, but they're headed in the right direction.
Oh, you're positive on them. Okay. I'm a little worried. Just a little though. I'm not disaster zone. I'm just a little because I wrote down Caleb makes this great escape, might have been his best escape of the game, and he throws into triple coverage and it gets picked.
Yeah.
It's like, Caleb, you got away from the defenders. Doesn't mean you can just throw it. That one I didn't quite understand. And I made a note. It's not a hot take. It's not a predict. It's a little bit of a prediction. I think we're going to find out Caleb Williams got injured in this game.
I hope not.
He was just taking a lot of hits in that fourth quarter. And I think he might have he might be in the injury report come Monday. He might have some swelling or something. And then the game ends. The Bears have one last chance. It's 4th and 17. Caleb Williams throws a pass to the right side. Nobody's there. Nobody was even over there, Omar. That was it. Tough game for Chicago. They're 1-1. Houston is 2-0. Those were the games for this Sunday. I mean, we can touch on Miami real quick. Disaster zone for Miami, totally.
And your heart goes out to
Tua. And he wasn't playing well in that game at all.
That's tough. That was tough to look at again. You feel for him and just hope he makes the right decisions moving forward. I think they said today that he's reporting that he's not considering retirement. I don't think it's anyone else's place to decide that. He's an adult. I just hope he's doing this with the best possible advice.
Yeah, it'll come down to his own decision and hopefully some consultation.
Right.
Like get some second opinions, but there's no way we know near enough about concussion protocol to say you can ever fully recover from this.
Right.
It's the weirdest injury because it doesn't heal like a bone, and we're in the unknown.
Right.
Of this injury and the history of it that he's had. Like he's had, I think one of the sports shows counted all the concussions he had, and I think he's had 5 of them.
Yep.
And 1 in college. This is scary stuff now. If it wasn't for last year, we wouldn't be on this kind of thought because he had 1 clean year last year, which I was glad he had because he got the contract and we got to see that this man is a legit great player. But it's not worth the safety at this point. Or do you see any scenario where he comes back?
Not for a long while.
Oh, like the chance that he sits out the rest of the year and then considers next year. I mean, maybe that's the only scenario I could see where
Yeah, that's the
playing.
only thing I can see it this way. But I just, I don't, again, but I haven't heard enough. I don't know, what the doctors were saying. And, uh, I think financially, though, I heard that he's set up in case he can't go.
Yeah, I think
Um,
you're right.
I, I think they don't, I think he still gets to keep all the money guaranteed, in this scenario. So you're glad that it's not going to be a money decision, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the one saving grace of that good year he had last year.
Yeah.
That we have that. Yeah, it's dark days in Miami right now. Not only did they lose Tua, they don't look good.
No.
Disaster zone. All right, it's time for the awards, Omar.
Let's do it.
Every week we give out awards. We're playing with the categories this year. We're going to take some in, we're going to add some, we're going to take some out. So
Okay.
let's start with most memorable moment of the week. And I tried my hardest to not include some sort of Raider one for every single category. So I got most memorable moment of the week. I got the last hour of that KC Cincinnati game.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. That was a
Yeah.
playoff. That was an early season playoff atmosphere. So I think that definitely won the week as far as
Mhm.
games and heavyweight. So that's going to be the most memorable part.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. Burrow was good. Mahomes is Mahomes. Um, Kansas City, just as a home field, is great. I got the last hour of that game. Any other memorable moments that you have today? No, you're going with that memorable moment?
I'm going to go with that memorable moment. That was fantastic. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, again, the most memorable one I'm going to take because obviously, just the thought of Tua being hit, and just how gut wrenching for me that was.
Oh, kind of as like a
Clearly,
dark memorable
no,
moment?
it's going to be a dark, memorable moment.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm going to remember that because because he's got that thing where when he gets hit, his fingers, they kind of like
That's the
crawl back.
worst.
Oh,
Oh, that's bad. Dark memorable moment from Carmona Law over there.
it's a bad one. And but I wish him well.
Okay, I left out one little piece of trivia for you that I was going to do before we do the awards. This is a quick would you rather, Omar. I don't know if you saw some promos for upcoming television shows. So, my question for you, Omar, would you rather watch the upcoming FX drama Aaron Hernandez or the Netflix series upcoming about the Menendez brothers?
I want to watch the Menendez on this one.
Oh, are you?
You know I've been a big fan of LA crime for many years. My love for OJ Manson.
My love for OJ.
Night Stalker. Um,
Hillside Strangler? Any Hillside Strangler in
I,
there?
I just I'm a West Coast crime kind of guy.
What's your favorite West Coast crime?
It's gonna be OJ. Come on, it's gonna be OJ. But
OJ. Have you seen that Netflix series that I think it might be called West Coast Crime or something?
yeah,
And yeah, the
homicide or
first
something like that.
yeah, Homicide, and the first one was on Phil Spector.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty effed up. That was a crazy case, and they have shots of the house and like I've lived in LA a long time. I know where that house is. Like you see the areas, I'm like, that's where he lived? Oh shit, that's not where I thought he would have a man. It's pretty dark. LA crime. So your favorite LA crime is the whole OJ saga, huh?
yeah,
So you'd go Menendez brothers.
yeah. I'm gonna go Menendez on this one.
Ugh, jeez. Aren't they slated to like get out? Like, because they had 25 years, right?
So at some point,
I think their release is coming up. Wow. The Menendez brothers. All right, so you would rather go with that. All right, back to the awards. Next award, the Cringeworthy Award for the week. I got nominee number one. We covered it a little bit. Tennessee head coach mouthing "what the fuck" to Will Levis as he came off the field.
I mentioned that one earlier. That
Yep,
was a pretty bad one.
that was a good one. That was good cringeworthy. Sean Payton's old lady sunglasses.
Ooh, that was a real cringeworthy. Patrick, I'm following you on this one.
How about this one? Taking out a member of the chain gang on the sideline today happened twice.
Yeah,
Once in the Chicago Houston game and once in the Vegas Raiders Baltimore Ravens game.
yeah.
Chain gang member passed out.
Yeah. Was everything okay there?
I don't know. He walked off, but why is every member of the chain gang a man who is no younger than 65 years old? You ever notice that? They're never young people. It's older people are always members of the chain gang. What's up with that?
That's I hope they make that virtual pretty soon, or AI powered, because it just seems
Seems
like we
like we could
don't.
do something there,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah. Well, there's that old footage of remember that Dallas Cowboy player Bill Bates? He's coming onto the field and he accidentally bumps the hell out of the chain gang guy, and he's like the guy looks like he's 80, and he's like, "Oh shoot, are you okay? Sorry, I think we got to do something about this chain gang. They were taking hits today, and
Right. No.
they always put those little rectangular yard markers right
Yeah.
behind them, perfect spot for them to trip over. I think that might win the award. Is
That, let's talk. Let's give that one the award.
Yeah, members of the chain gang just being taken out this week. Next award, most memeable moment. Remember, this one was hard to think of last week, but I kept it in this week because I got two. No, I got three. I got number one, the Max Crosby Gardner Minshew pep talk. I could see being a meme this week. That little part where he's banging on his shoulder pads to encourage him could totally be a meme. I got did you see this in the Arizona game? Buda Baker makes this tackle. He's on his back and he does this flip up from his back onto his feet.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that could be a meme very easily. And then lastly, I got Burrow's facial expressions could be a meme this week.
I just got my only meme moment is Marvin Harrison Jr. catching the football. That's just the beginning of something great.
Oh, so just to catch him catching the ball and then insert whatever encouraging caption you want underneath it this week.
Absolutely. For him,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's one of those where you could do anything with it. Like he's catching the ball, he's up in the air, and you write at the bottom, when the least
There was also that center for Green Bay that vomited on the ball right before he
Oh, that's a
snapped
good
it.
one. That's a good one. Yeah, just puke and rally. I think I already saw that one. Just puke and rally.
Puke
Good
and
meme.
rally.
Good addition. Okay, good memes. Next award, Best Innovation Award. I got one that I have to do a little explaining. This one's called Camera Angles.
Okay.
I think I would like, no matter or whatever shot is on the screen, I want in the corner description what camera this shot is coming from. Because did you see the camera on the crossbar this week got hit by 2 field goals? There was one, I think in the Cincinnati game, and then they showed in the Baltimore game, Justin Tucker was kicking bombs in pregame and he hit the
Yep.
camera. So I would like, when we see that camera angle, I would like a note saying this is the field goal post camera. This
I
is the
like
side.
that.
This is the sideline camera. This is the 4K brought to you by Walmart camera. I would like a
I like that.
notation of
I
who
like
were.
that.
Yeah. What about you? Any best innovation awards?
I like no, I like that. I like that end zone camera, the crossbar camera.
Yeah. And also, I wouldn't mind with all the innovations we got because you have this for college football on Saturdays on ESPN. If you have the app, you can watch 2 versions of the game. You can watch this like all 22 camera angle where it shows you this huge shot of the game, or you can watch an angle from behind the offense as well, like a video game. I'm
Right.
surprised the NFL doesn't have a choice like that. Like watch different versions of the game. I could be down for that innovation.
That'd be nice. I like that.
Do you have any innovation awards for the week?
No, I like yours.
Did you have any soundtrack awards for the week? I didn't.
I know. No. But I got to be paying more attention to this kind of stuff.
Soundtrack award is a new one. So we're not ready to eliminate it yet. We're
Yeah.
going to keep it on the back burner. Keep it on the back burner with those hot dogs. All right. Everybody's favorite, the Hot Take Award.
I think I gave mine already.
What was
Um,
yours?
what was mine? I said it in Arch Manning is going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
That was a very hot take.
Yeah.
You also said Cowboys were going to lose all their regular season games.
They might as well at this point. They look bad.
There's no way. They look bad today, I will say. All right. hot take award. I have 3 nominees. I have the New York Giants fire their head coach after week 3. I
He,
have
it seems like his days are numbered.
they look bad.
No,
Week 3.
I go back to that episode, the Hard Knocks off season, and it's the owner telling the GM and basically telling him, I'm gonna lose a lot of sleep if Saquon leaves, you know. And they
Yeah, he
kind of have
left.
this look on their face like, yeah, we don't care if he leaves, and he's just outperforming them right now.
Jeez. Like I wrote this hot take. This is also in case they win. I think they still fire him. That's my hot take. Head coach is gone. The Jets won today, but say the Jets lost today and both New York teams were 0-2. Ooh, dark days for New York football. Dark.
Oh yeah.
There's a spark with the Jets right now, but the Giants, no. That flame is out. Maybe they play the Panthers at some point. Next hot take nominee. Somebody's breaking the longest field goal on record this year, Omar.
Ooh, Justin
They're
Tucker.
hitting 70 yarders in pregame.
Yeah, that Justin Tucker and that Aubrey, they got some boots.
Butker 50 plus. Like how many 50 plus yard field goals were there today? I think there was 5.
Yeah.
So I say someone's going to break the longest kick this year, which is 64.
You want to say maybe Harrison Butker
He's a good one.
in a cold chilly night in Denver.
Denver, yeah, perfect conditions. Tucker's a good one, but they showed his stat. He missed one today. 50 plus, he has not been good the last couple of years, but he can get it there. It's not a question of distance. Last hot take. What are the odds on Baker Mayfield for MVP of the league right now? Because whatever it is, I'd put some money on it right now. I like those odds.
Put some money on him now, and he may get hot and make you some money.
If it's 10-1, that's a good bet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Baker Mayfield for MVP. That's my hot take. Any hot takes for you other than Cowboys are losing all their games?
It's that.
Okay, we'll stick with that. The Sunday double feature award for the day. You may have guessed it because I've already called this week in the NFL the disaster week that it was. So I went with the disaster movie Armageddon.
Oh, a disaster movie, a disaster week.
So Miami, Dallas, the LA Rams, throw in there San Francisco, Baltimore losing surprisingly.
Well, then on that note, my favorite disaster, I'm going to go with Twister.
Oh, that's a good one. Twister. You would call that that's a disaster movie. I'll give you that
for sure.
one. Well, think of that era of movies. We had a lot of disaster movies. We had Armageddon, Twister.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, Deep Impact, Volcano.
Yeah.
And maybe my favorite underrated, Dante's Peak.
Good one.
For some reason, people decide to have this town underneath an active volcano. Maybe should have thought that one through. A little bit more Dante's Peak. So, disaster. Are you with me that this was a disastrous week in the NFL?
It was. For some teams,
it was. Yeah. I think for a lot of teams, like it's panic button. Giants, disaster. Carolina, disaster. Miami, Dallas, disaster. Like a third of the teams this week are going in Monday morning meetings like fucking devastated.
Oh, it was brutal.
And I might put the Ravens in there. Starting 0-2 is really tough to bounce back from. You got to have a strong locker room if you're going to bounce back from that.
Well,
okay, now we get into the maybe awards. I skipped montage award. I couldn't think of anything that resembled a montage today. But I do have one for the announcer award. I don't know if you noticed this. Chris Collinsworth did almost the entire broadcast without his jacket.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth said the most Collinsworth thing today when he was talking about CJ Stroud, and he says, you ever get the feeling there's a guy that when he walks into the room, he's just the guy?
Please do it in the Chris Collinsworth voice, though, from now on. Come on, we have standards on this show. I think Chris Collinsworth now realized that he is Sunday Night Football.
Right.
he is just the voice of Sunday Night Football. Did you see NBC did this thing somewhere around the third quarter where they were recording players singing the Sunday Night Football theme?
Yes.
And it was just horrible karaoke. I was like, NBC, you can't tell me you thought this sounded good in any way. It was terrible. I was like, what are you doing, NBC? Come on. That was a bad idea. Next award. This is the location award. Okay, this one's a stretch, but I thought it was worth noting. Mike Tyson went to the Cowboys game. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah. What is the Cowboys Stadium called? Cowboys Stadium?
AT&T. Yeah.
AT&T. I bought Mike Tyson at AT&T Stadium. Give that the location award. And now for everybody's favorite category, best quote. I got 3. First quote. This is from Tiki Barber, who called the Raiders game. The Raiders want to be a running team, but they're not very good at that. That's Tiki Barber.
Good for Tiki.
And it was dead on because they want to be a running team. And in that final touchdown drive, they didn't run it once. It was great. Right. Let's just open it up. I got Tony Romo. No one's better at 4th and 16 than Patrick Mahomes. Like, how long is this list, Tony Romo?
Yeah, I want to hear that list.
And then, of course, Chris Collinsworth has an offering. Somewhere in the fourth quarter on a punt, Chris Collinsworth goes, Mike, I've played every position in football. No kidding. Did you hear that one?
No, I did not get that one.
That was great. He was trying to describe how it's hard to return a punt or something, but apparently Chris Collins has played every position in football. No kidding.
That's a hot take.
Yeah. What's your best quote of the week?
That one with the Collinsworth talking about C.J. Stroud. That was funny.
All right, you can't just. Oh yeah, that's a good one. This guy is the guy.
Yeah.
Collinsworth. I am Sunday Night Football. I skipped best play call / coaches award. I don't think anything stood out this week from it other than who had the best win. Whatever coach had the best win, give it to them.
Right.
And last category, who won the week, Omar? I got two nominees, one real one, one fun one.
The winner of the week, I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints offense definitely won the week. And secondly, I got to give it to Harrison Butker. He won the week for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh wow, Harrison commencement speech Butker won the week for you, huh?
Special and an honorable mention of Baker Mayfield.
Wow, okay, you got a couple winners in there. Of those 3, I might go Baker of your nominees. I got 2 nominees. I got nominee number 1, the referee in the Chicago-Houston game's arms.
Good, that's a good one.
I think there was a point where he must have called 25 penalties, and he's got like the guns out. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that scene in the movie Necessary Roughness where the guy on Texas State does the karate moves and gets a penalty, and the referee describes the karate moves. He's like, jiu-jitsu kick to the abdomen, and he's doing the motions.
Yep.
That's what it reminded me, because that guy had some guns. And second nominee who won the week, I just went with Mike Tomlin.
That's a good one.
He is at 2-0, and nobody thought he had any resemblance of a team.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He beat 2 easy teams, but he beat them. So I'll give it to Mike Tomlin and the referee's arms in this Sunday night game.
Let's go.
Guy had some guns, that referee.
Yep.
And he had no waist. Like, he was just thin. It makes me think we got to replace these members of the chain gang with somebody that can do 5 push-ups. Please. Look at our referees. Like, it can be done. Or, like, get some AI in there. Like, why are we still using chains and sticks? All right. Good awards this week.
Yeah.
That brings us to Monday night, Omar. That's right. It's Monday Night Football. This week, how excited are you for Atlanta at Philadelphia?
I'm excited about this one. And I think
really?
But I do think it's going to be a Philadelphia win. I'm still not like sold on, you turning the franchise over to Kirk Cousins, but it's gonna be, and I don't think it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna go with I'll go Philadelphia 29, Atlanta 16.
I'm right there with you. Kirk Cousins looked like he was made of stone in week 1. It looks like it's painful to throw the ball, so I can't envision a game where he at least has 1 pick. Saquon Barkley might have a new set of legs for Philly. So I'm with you. I'm going to go Philly by 2 touchdowns, 1 pick from Cousins. It might be a pick 6 too.
Oh.
Philly. And that'll make Philly 2-0, right?
Yep, that would.
Yeah. Philly on a Monday night, I think it's just a staple. We have to have that. What's your favorite Monday night stadium location? You can watch a Monday night game from your couch anywhere. What would you pick?
Oh,
you have to exclude your own team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That goes without saying. I like a good Monday night. I think of when I was a kid, Monday night in old Mile High. Give me a Broncos game.
Interesting. I morally can't pick them as a division rival, but I'm going to go the other side of the country and give me a Monday night from Miami. Give me a hot Monday night outside stadium.
I like that.
Put the lights on there.
Too.
All right, everybody. That was week 2 in the NFL. That was the Sunday night talk. Omar Carmona there for myself, Patrick Ramirez. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Peace.
That is it. That is the episode. That is the Las Vegas Raiders winning to a glorious 1-1 record. That is Omar Carmona, not too worried about his 49ers loss. Cowboys, question mark. Rams, question mark. Miami, 2 question marks. And a whole lot of other stuff. Where are you on my Baker Mayfield for MVP take? Too hot? Keep an eye on it. Put a post-it on it. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do it. I need the subscribers, and the channel will grow. All my stuff is up there. Stand-up comedy, YouTube shorts, and this very show as well. Go check it out. Thank you, everybody, for listening. For me, Patrick Ramirez. For my co-host, Omar Carmona. That was week 2. I'll see you guys next week.